Welcome to Mysteries, Myths, and Legends. I'm Taylor.
I'm Savannah.
And welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Yeah, happy Wednesday. I'm so glad that we're done with our technical difficulties.
We often struggle with technical difficulties on this podcast, and it's truly so annoying.
Yeah. See, I was struggling for probably a good hour, right?
Oh, like we were solidly sat down at like 6:30 to record. It's now 8:15.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So,
But I really thought that we were gonna not be able to at all. So
same. So, you know what?
here we go.
Yeah, we're here and we're ready. Also, happy 40th episode.
Oh my god.
Crazy.
Already?
I know. It's really insane. Like, we're
It's
10
almost
away
been
from 50.
I
Like,
know,
it's almost
and
been a year.
I know, I was just gonna say. It's crazy.
It really is crazy. Shout out to all of our fans.
Yeah, shout out to anybody who's been with us this whole time, all of our friends.
Yeah,
because
shout out
nobody
to
else
the-
knew about it in the beginning.
Right? Shout out to the homies. We love them. Okay, also, I have a very important life update for myself. I dyed my hair purple.
Oh my god. And I love it.
Thank you. I know this is an audio podcast and not a video podcast, but I'll post a picture of my purple hair so you guys can see it. I am obsessed with it. I love it.
Yeah.
And another personal life update, guys, is that today I went and got my flu and my COVID booster shot. So this is a reminder. Go get vaxxed.
I know I almost did, but when I was trying to schedule it today, the CVS website was just shutting down. So more technical difficulties. Like, is it just me? Like,
It's you. No, it's you.
I don't know.
Savannah's got some kind of magnet against her, and she's just like messing up all the technology.
Yeah, maybe I'm in retrograde.
Yeah. Savannah
just me.
only. That's so funny.
Yeah.
So funny.
I didn't really have any intros topics, but the one thing I did want to say is I hate that it's been getting colder, and I hate that it's been getting darker, and I miss summer.
Same and same, but I don't mean to upset you. Luckily for me, it has been cold here actually the past 2 weeks. Like, we have the heat on and stuff. However, today and the remainder of this week, it is going to be 80 degrees. So we're going to have to turn
Lucky.
back on our air. And I had to turn off the heat today. I didn't turn on the air yet, but it was way too hot to have the heat on. And yeah. So I'm going to have a little bit of summer left, maybe.
Yeah, I guess that's the perk of living by the beach. Like,
Yeah.
I haven't checked the weather for this week, but I don't think it's going to be 80 degrees. So, lucky you.
No, I'm really excited. Really excited. Also,
Yeah.
one last thing before we get started. I actually, over the weekend, took some more of my friends that had never been there to the Bellamy Mansion.
Fun.
I know. I feel like I
wish
live
could have
there.
gone too.
What'd you say?
I said I wish I could have gone with you guys.
Oh, I
'cause that was
know.
so fun.
I know. I wish you could have too, because this time, we were just like a little bit more daring this time. And so we like, it's not really gonna mean anything to anybody, but I just have to tell you, Savannah, we like
Okay.
climbed on the stage, like the children's stage, and like opened the door to see what was in those like creepy little doors,
Oh my gosh.
and just like a bunch of random stuff and like creepy. We took pictures, so if you want to
You
see
should
them,
have done a vlog part 2.
I should have, but we okay. So like they closed at 4 and we got there at like 3, so I was
Oh.
like in a
I
crunch
see.
for time. But either way, it was really fun. Nothing scary happened to us, tragically. We did try to have a little investigation in the slave quarters, but we did not get anything, unfortunately. So, but it was still
Yeah.
really fun.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. But other than that, I believe we shall start our stories for the week.
Okay. All right, yeah. I have some ghostly happenings. Some ghost stories, sort of. I have 2 stories because one of them I started and it ended up being pretty short, so I added
Yeah.
another. As it goes sometimes.
It surely
But
does.
they're both places in Winston-Salem. So if like, since you've lived here your whole life, like, you might know them.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know them.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see what they are.
Okay, so the first one is the Rosenbacher House.
No, I don't think I've ever heard of that one.
Okay. So my dad actually sent me a link of an article with like a few haunted places on it, and they were like haunted places just in the US.
Okay.
But the one at the bottom was this house, and it was in Winston-Salem, so I was like, I have to do it.
Yeah, you had no choice.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh, well, there's like not that much research done on this, so that's disappointing. But we'll get into this little there is. So the article that he sent me, there was like a little short video on it, and it seemed like such a creepy house. It was like this guy talking about it, and it just like goes into like a history of it. So Carrie Rosenbacher, she purchased the house in 1909, and it's like one of the fancy houses in Winston. So, it's on West 5th Street.
Okay,
and
I
it's
was
like,
gonna say, where was it?
yeah, it's like this huge house, like definitely a rich family.
Of course.
And the family was like in the textiles, like clothing industry. And the family has like lived here for generations after that, like since 1909.
Wow.
People from the family don't live in the house anymore, but I'll get there. So they also had hired help that lived in the house, which honestly adds to the creep factor just because, like, they lived in the basement.
Oh, heck no.
Yeah, they lived in the basement and they were not allowed upstairs unless
No.
they were summoned to do something for them.
Ew, what? This is
I
sickening.
know. It really makes me, like,
Literally.
I hate it. Because, like, how can you treat people like that? I don't know.
Right, like that's so messed up. Like do they not think like if the roles were reversed, like, oh, maybe I wouldn't like this?
I know, yeah.
So
But
rude.
yeah, I'm pretty sure they, like, had them just locked in their basement. But anyway, they had, like, little foot buttons on the floor. So they would just, like, kick it with their foot or press it with their foot. And it would, like, signal a bell. It would make a bell ring in the basement. So they would come up
Wow.
and do something for them. Yeah. So, like, it's kind of cool, but also kind of, like, bad.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's cool,
I don't like it.
but it's extremely messed up.
Yeah. And the fact that I guess I mean, it says hired help. I guess they were paid, but, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It still is
Okay.
creepy.
Even if they might have been paid, they were still like held hostage in the basement.
Right. Like, maybe not totally hostage, but, like, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it would be nice to have someone do things like that for you, but also, like, yeah, you're banishing them to the basement. That's what I have written here. I called it banishing them.
Banishing, yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah, so the family owned this house until 1975, and I think they, like, used that function until then too.
What?
Yeah, like, they had people working there that they would
Live in the
that.
basement?
I guess.
Until 1975?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I know that because there's, like, this one descendant who was still alive as of 2015. I'm not sure if she's still alive now because
Yeah.
the whatever I saw was from 2015. But her name's Peggy Rosenbacher, and she grew up in the house. And when they, like, were restoring it, she went to go visit. And she said that she remembers seeing her grandmother tap the button with her foot to signal the help to come bring her tea or coffee.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I don't know. I just think it's crazy because, like, really? The 1970s? Like,
Right.
And this lady's still alive.
No, yeah. That is really crazy.
Yeah. So, yeah. So anyways, it was renovated, as I said, and has been used for some businesses, actually. So this house is now used as a custom charcuterie business called the Bored Babe.
Oh.
And the owner actually did an interview where she states that she's heard that it's haunted, but hasn't had any like experiences.
Oh, and that is so interesting.
And before that, because this is a new business, before that it was occupied by a bakery called Tart Sweets.
Oh, okay.
And that owner said that they would have experiences on a weekly basis. So honestly, like
Oh.
one of them's lying. Like,
Oh, wow. I wonder which one it is.
yeah, like I don't know.
Like, maybe we should go here and see for ourselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, we could. So the previous owner, she said that there would be like hangers falling out of the closet. Bells would ring when nobody was there, which is extra creepy
That's,
because
yeah, the bells.
the bells to
Wait,
call the help.
wait. I'm just so sorry. I'm just processing this at like this house with the bells, which is now like a charcuterie business, but this is the
Yeah.
house where the people were kidnapped in the basement. Not kidnapped. I know I'm saying kidnapped,
I
but
was like, wait, kidnapped?
no, just
No.
like hostage, but like basically hostages in the basement until they were rang with the foot pedal.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, pretty
crazy.
much. I know. And then in the whatever video I was watching, it was just like they made it seem so casual. They're like, oh yeah, they just had them down there. I'm like,
Okay.
okay.
Like, that is not normal.
I know. But yeah, so there are some ghosts that are seen, apparently not by this new owner, but you know, there's some ghosts that are seen, including Mrs. Rosenbacher herself,
No way.
the original owner, and possibly some of the hired help.
Oh, snap. That's crazy. Well, I hope. Okay, now I actually really want to go there and like investigate it.
I know. Yeah, it would be cool too.
Like, I feel bad. Like, I would like to talk to like the help ghost.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to see their perspectives. Like, they had to hate it.
I know, but like in the little interview, it was saying that they're trying to make their way back home too because they lived there.
Yeah, I mean
you know?
that's true. That's honestly true. Wow.
Yeah. So people say that whenever a bell is rung, like in general, it summons spirits,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard
which
that
would make
before.
sense because it like summon them in their life.
Yeah, exactly.
So it
Oh,
would
you mean
summon them in their
specifically
death,
here if
too.
you ring a bell?
Yeah.
Okay, because I've heard that elsewhere too. Like, if you ring a bell, it will summon a spirit.
Oh,
But that's
yeah.
interesting.
I feel like it
I
makes
wonder.
extra sense here.
Definitely here. I wonder if the new owner has rang a bell in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I know we need to go in with a bell. and
Yeah,
just
we should get in
ring a bell
contact for
no
sure.
reason. So yeah, that's most of what I could find off of this, but then I ended up looking into like the original family that lived there, and found out that Carrie Rosenbacher had 4 kids named Aladdin, Fanny, Otto, and Sandel.
Wow, those names.
I know. I'm like, they're interesting.
So interesting.
But Otto was born on Halloween in Winston-Salem. So, like, I just thought that was interesting.
Spooky vibes.
It's like, ooh, okay, I had to add that. And there's also a ghost tour that starts and ends at this house.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, Savannah. I'm coming home this weekend. Can we go on it?
I mean, that would be cool.
I'm not promising it, but we should definitely consider.
Yeah, maybe. I might actually have something else I have to do, but
Okay, well,
we'll see.
Savannah's still cool for
'Cause
me.
it's my brother's birthday.
Okay, fine.
so-
I guess your brother comes before me. But we
Yeah.
should do it sometime.
I know, we have to. I literally wrote here, we should do it.
Of course.
But I don't think, I don't know if you go in there at all, though. I think you just, like, meet up there.
Like,
and,
yeah,
like,
at the
it ends
outside.
there.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, I think the whole tour is mostly, like, going up to these places and then they tell you about it and you walk
Yeah.
away. You don't, like, go in.
No,
But
yeah, that's how normal most, like, ghost tours go. That's
I've never been on one.
Oh, I've been on a ton, and that's normally how they go. I think I was able to go into like a few houses, but most of the time you're just standing out front of it.
Okay. Yeah, I need to go on a ghost tour because I just want to know what it's like. You know?
Yeah, we're
never
definitely
done
are gonna go on one.
Yeah, we'll do this Winston-Salem one eventually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Wait.
that
No, go ahead. No, you go right ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that's pretty much all I had for that one.
Okay, well that,
unfortunately.
first of all, was extremely crazy. I'm gonna take a quick break. We will be right back. And welcome back. All right, Savannah, let's get that second story. I'm excited.
Okay, yeah. This second one is another haunted Winston-Salem story. So this is the Brookstown Inn.
Yes. Fun fact, my paranormal group that I used to be in college went and investigated. I was unable to go on this investigation, sadly,
What?
which is tragic because that was my hometown. But
Yeah.
yeah, they did go and investigate, so that was cool.
Okay, well, I want to go investigate this one. It sounds fun. So it is obviously a hotel now, Brookstown Inn.
Yes.
But it used to be a cotton mill. And it was started in 1870 or 1837. Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Even farther back. And the inn itself opened in 1984. So
Oh, okay,
it was a mill for a long time. A cotton mill, so that's typical Southern.
Oh, yes.
You know.
Very Southern.
Yep. So we go from a textiles family to a cotton mill, you know.
Yeah. That was about the one of the two choices you had back then.
Yeah, so my and tobacco, but I didn't
true.
get there. But yeah, so that's how my stories connect, I guess.
Yeah.
So if you know the area at all, it is near Old Salem.
Oh, okay.
So that is, you know, the historic part of Winston-Salem. And it was one of the first companies in the South to have electricity in the building.
No way.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool.
That is cool.
I don't really know. I didn't look up when the electricity was like installed or anything, but
I feel like
apparently
that's
it's one
so
of the first
weird.
ones.
Like, wouldn't the other buildings have electricity first? I feel like that's crazy. Shout out
I
to
don't know.
them
Maybe they
for
were
being
like
innovative.
maybe they were like richer or something.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They could afford it.
True.
So we're gonna go straight to the ghosts. There's a ghost named Sally
Sally.
who roams around. And back in the day, the fourth floor was used as a dorm for the women who worked at the mill.
Oh.
And two of these girls got in a fight one night.
Yikes.
And one of them pushed the other down the elevator shaft.
Oh. Oh, no.
Yes. So this Sally, she is the one who was pushed.
Not Sally.
Supposedly. That's what everybody says. So now people see her on the fourth floor where she used to live. And she is most present in room 401. So, and people will see like full body apparitions, like see her fully, and they also see orbs. And when you see like her full self, she wears a gray dress and has red hair.
Oh, cool. I love the red hair. Also, I know what room we're staying in when we go.
Room 401.
Yup.
Maybe. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Could be fun to go meet Sally. And also, I think it's interesting that she is wearing gray and has red hair, because usually I feel like it's a woman in red
Oh, true.
with like gray features.
Yeah.
So
Opposite.
But yeah, so some guests say that they were like awakened in the night by a scream.
Ooh.
And some hear her say mercy,
Oh.
which is crazy. And she's also been known to watch people sleep.
Ew. Okay, no.
Creepy.
No, 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 no.
People will wake up and she'll be standing over them watching.
Absolutely disgusting.
You still want to go?
Yep.
To that
I
room?
sure do.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not sleeping, but I'll go.
Oh, true. Honestly, you're right. We can just go and do it all nighter. And she will also pat at the end of the bed, like at the foot of the bed, while people are trying to sleep in it.
Ew.
Just
That's what I do to Juju.
to get him to like
Jump up on the
go,
bed.
like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that too.
But if I felt that when I was in bed, I would freak out.
I know. Yeah. It's like you just like look over and think it's like I don't know, somebody who's there with you, but it's a
Right.
ghost.
But it's no one.
People also will hear children laughing and playing,
Sick.
and some have claimed to actually see them too.
Ew.
There's a boy and a girl in nightshirts
Aw,
who like run around and play.
that's sad. Kid ghosts make me sad.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I know, because it's like, and also like, were they working?
Right, like, and honestly, probably they were. Because there were
Yeah.
no child labor laws back then.
Yeah. Well, anyways, moving on.
Anyways.
There's also a woman. Oh, sorry. A woman reported that after she stayed at the inn, two spirits followed her home.
Yikes.
And she said it was a young boy and his mom, or like a motherly figure, you know. And she says that the boy moves things around her house, and the mom will like whisper her when to like wake up when she oversleeps.
I mean, that's chill.
So they're like nice
Yeah,
ghosts.
yeah, no, that's chill. A ghost alarm clock. We love it.
Right. Oh my god, I need one of those sometimes.
Me too,
I just be
definitely.
sleeping in.
Same.
Oh, actually, side note though, my mom told me this morning that my dad didn't reset his alarm clock and he ended up waking up at 4 a.m. because of daylight savings.
That is funny.
So,
That is really funny.
see, that's why I just use my phone as an alarm clock.
Yeah, I use my phone as an alarm clock, but I also have a real alarm clock, but it sets itself. Like, it goes back.
Oh, see.
She's smart. Yeah.
I know, because I would definitely forget.
Oh, same. The only thing that I actually had to change, because obviously we had just changed time, if you don't know, or don't live
Yeah.
in America, or whatever, whoever else does it. We went back an hour this week, but the only clock I had to change was my car. But let me tell you, when I got in my car to go to my doctor appointment earlier today, and it said it was 12:30 and my appointment was at 11:30, I almost freaked out.
Yeah, I know. I had to change the one in my car too.
Anyways, I don't know how we got there, but
Because of the ghost alarm clock.
oh yes, ghost alarm
anyways.
clock, of course.
So, another thing is, while they were building the hotel, or like while they were like transforming it into a hotel, the construction crew found a human skeleton in the wall.
No. Okay, well that's not suspicious at all.
Right. Yeah. And strange things started happening, and people say that it was the ghost of whoever the skeleton was.
Oh, okay.
And they named him Eddie.
Eddie, my man.
So Eddie is the other ghost at the hotel.
Aw.
He wanders the hotel at night, and his footsteps are heard on the wooden floor.
Oh, spooky.
Yeah, and several guests have woken up in the middle of the night and heard him whispering.
Okay. Listen, I love the ghost alarm clock idea, but the idea of ghost whispering is just so scary.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, it kinda
even
is.
real people whispering. I don't like
Oh,
it.
and the fact that I forgot to mention this. They heard him whispering through the bricks in the
Okay.
wall.
Stop. That is horrifying.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was pretty much the end of my notes there, but yeah, so Eddie and Sally there. It sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah, I mean, they don't sound mean. Sound maybe at times they're a little creepy, but it sounds pretty chill.
Yeah. Yeah, I would go to this hotel.
Oh, we
Go
definitely
check
should.
it out. Maybe it's on the
The
walking tour too.
Yeah, it
maybe.
probably is. But I bet we can't go in there. But still be cool.
yeah.
But maybe, who knows? Oh, I don't know. Well, those are really crazy stories. I think that we should do both.
Yeah, we can go get some charcuterie and then go over to the hotel.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I don't really know how I personally feel about charcuterie businesses because me and Savannah are absolutely amazing charcuterie chefs. We'll have to post a picture of our amazing, ginormous spread that we made for 4th of July.
Oh my God, yes, that was actually
It
amazing.
was amazing. Like,
And my
please,
my
yeah.
aunt helped too, and she had like all the stuff.
But yes, we must do both of those things. I love Savannah traveling on the spooky side this week also.
Mm-hmm.
We love that.
I know. Yeah, I've been doing like mysteries and stuff, so.
I know. Well, as that's a perfect segue because this week I'm doing a mystery. We
Ooh,
swapped it
okay.
up this week.
Yeah.
We do, and we did not plan this, obviously, but like, we never do, but we love it. So, I'm sure you've heard of this, what I'm about to cover. Probably most people have, but it's so fascinating to me, I just had to cover it. So, I am covering the mystery of the Watcher.
Oh,
Have you heard of the
okay.
Watcher?
I've not.
Well, then you are in for a ride. Yeah,
It
let me
sounds like
tell you that.
it sounds like a stalker.
Yeah, yeah, they definitely are. So let's just get into it. How about we? Okay, so on the night of June, well, not on the night, just a night in June in 2014. So most of the stories we tell are very, very old. This started in 2014. So this story is already scary, more scary to me because I don't like when things are close to the time that we're in, you know?
Yeah,
Like we were alive and thriving in 2014 and this was happening. So like,
I
I don't
know.
know, it just
Yeah,
scares me a little worse, you know? So anyways,
definitely. Because you feel like if it's in the past, you feel like, oh, that's gone and
exactly like,
done
oh
with,
yeah,
you
they
know?
can't hurt me. Like this person, the Watcher is probably I mean, he's probably still out there.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so June 2014, we are in a small town called Westfield, New Jersey. Do you know Westfield, New Jersey, Savannah?
It doesn't sound familiar, but like,
Okay.
where is
No
it in New
clue.
Jersey?
No
Oh,
clue. Just curious, from
well,
up there, up yonder. Um,
I'm gonna have to look it up on
yeah,
the
true.
map.
No clue, but it's in New Jersey. So there was this man named Derek Broadus, and he had just finished an evening of painting at his brand new house when he decided to go get the mail. Normal. That he just bought a house, but they hadn't moved in yet because they like needed to do a little bit of remodeling and stuff. So he was just over there chilling by himself, painting some rooms, and he was like gonna go home, but he was like, "Yeah, let me go get the mail first." You know how it does. So Derek and his wife Maria had just closed on this 6-bedroom house 3 days before this happened, this night.
Dang, that's
Yes.
huge for New
Oh,
Jersey.
huge, 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 huge. So
Also, I just looked it up. It's near New York, so it's closer to New York than it is to Philly. So I that's why I don't know it.
makes sense, makes sense. Good to know.
Anyways.
Thanks for looking that up. Um, so as I said, yes, they were doing renovations and they hadn't fully moved in. So there wasn't a ton of mail, just some bills and a a white card shaped envelope. So, like, who is already emailing? Who, not emailing, who is already mailing them? Like, they haven't even moved in yet. So, that was already a little bit sus. And the envelope was addressed in very, very thick handwriting, and it said, to the new owner.
Oh,
I know. So, before I get into what the letter said, I need to tell you, like, how much of a dream home that this was for this family. Maria actually grew up in Westfield, New Jersey, and their new house is actually only a couple blocks from her childhood home. And Derek had actually grown up working class in Maine, but he was eventually able to move up the ladder at an insurance company in New York. And eventually, he actually became the senior vice president of this company with a large enough salary to afford this home. Finally, he had finally made enough money. And so the house was like a little bit over $1 million, which was a lot,
just
obviously.
just a little bit over.
Just a little bit over, like that's a lot of money.
Oh my
So,
God.
but they were super excited and like they had some kids and everybody was like, I can't wait to pick out my room and live in this huge house, blah blah blah, so fun. So, oh, and also the kids, they have 3 kids and they were so excited about first of all, how big the house was. And this is the most important part to me. They were excited for the not 1, not 2, but the 3 fireplaces that Santa Claus was going to use as they said.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
the kids got in and they were like, oh my God, Santa's going to come down all 3 of our fireplaces. Like, it just hurts me because they're just so excited, you know?
Yeah.
It's so
Aw.
cute. I know. They're
3?
just,
Okay, but 3.
I
Why
know.
is he gonna go through the whole part? The whole point is just so he can get in the house.
I know. They were like, he's going to go down my fireplace.
Right, okay.
But so cute. Also, 3 fireplaces is a lot of fireplaces to have, in my opinion.
Right. I know, most houses would just have one.
One, if
Like, I
any,
don't know.
right?
Yeah, or 0.
Exactly. But anyways, back to the letter. So I'm just gonna read it because you're just not ready. So, dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard, allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. How did you end up here? Did 657 Boulevard call to you with its force within? 657 Boulevard has been the subject of my family for decades now, and as it approaches its 110th birthday, I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming. My grandfather watched this house in the 1920s, and my father watched it in the 1960s. It is now my time. Do you know the history of this house? Do you know what lies within its walls? Why are you here? I will find out.
I think they're just living there. Like, what?
Right. Like, I don't think there was anything. I think they were just like, hey, we have some more money. Let's move into a bigger house. Like,
That's so creepy.
right. So, this first letter is super, super, super long. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I just want to that was the beginning of it. And I'm going to talk about the most important snippets of it now. So, it also talks about how the family had just bought a new minivan and how, like, the watcher knew they were remodeling the house. So that sketched them out a little bit. But the most creepy thing about this letter was that it mentions that they have children, and specifically that they had 3 of them, and asked if they had any more on the way. And these kids had only been to that house probably once at that point because they had just bought it 3 days before.
Oh my god.
So, like, this person was, like, literally watching them because they did have 3 kids. Unless it was just, like, a random guess. But I don't know. Anyway.
Okay, but also if you're gonna watch the house and you say like, oh, my family's been watching for generations, why let them know immediately?
Right. Like, okay. Right. Well, because I think this person is just, like, sick and just wanted to scare these people so bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
Who? Lord knows, honestly. But, the last part of this letter said, who am I? There are hundreds and hundreds of cars that drive by 657 Boulevard each day. Maybe I'm in one. Look out all of the windows of 657 Boulevard, and maybe I'm in one. Welcome, my friends, welcome. Let the party begin. Signed, The Watcher. Dun, dun, dun. You know I had to.
Oh my god, I hate it so much.
So creepy. Like, so creepy. And you know how mad I would be if I was Derek in the situation, just literally moved in 3 days and I'm already getting this? I would be like, this is a
Right.
sick joke. Like
you think, oh, this is a nice neighborhood, it's worth this much money, it better be, and then it's just not. Like, it's
like, not at all. Right. So, at this point in the night when Derek found the letter, it was after 10 p.m. and he was alone at this house. So, obviously, he's like, I just imagine him in an empty house in the kitchen, like, just reading this note. Obviously, he's freaking out. So, he ran around the house, turning off all the lights and locked all the doors so, like, nobody could see inside or, like, get inside. And then he called the police, as anyone would do that. So, so an officer came by the house and he read the letter. And he literally immediately assumed it was Derek's fault. And he was like, so, like, who did you make mad? Like, who are your enemies? And Derek was like, I don't have any enemies. Like, what do you mean? Like,
right. It literally says in the letter, we've been watching this house for generations.
right,
So,
right.
like, what?
Right. Like, the police just did not want to deal with it. Like, okay. I don't know. So, literally, the only thing that the police officer said to do was, oh, okay. Well, apparently there was like some construction equipment outside because they're working on the house. And so the officer was like, he just told Derek to move that stuff like inside just in case anybody who wrote the letter wanted to break a window and get inside. Like, excuse me, what? If you think that's even a possibility, don't you think you should maybe try to, I don't know, help in another way? Like,
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, like they can bring their own stuff to break the window if they really want to.
Right. Like, that's right. Like, what? So, anyways, I mean, he did it. Derek moved the stuff, but then he drove back to his wife and kids, and they lived, like, in, like, the next city over, so they weren't that far. So they could just, you know, go back and forth, luckily.
Yeah.
But, so he tells Maria what happened, and they decide together to write an email to John and Andrea Woods, and they are the couple that sold them the house.
Yeah.
And they just, like, literally asked, like, in the email, like, do you have any idea who the watcher is, or if they had been, like, written any letters or anything? So Andrea Woods ended up responding the next morning, and she said that actually a few days before they moved out of the house, the Woods did receive a letter from the watcher. But they said that they had never gotten any other letter in the past 23 years that they had lived there, other than that one letter, like 3 or 4 days before they were moving out.
That's crazy, because, like...
Crazy.
See, that's what I'm saying. Why did they choose to do it right when they were moving in?
I don't know.
Like, that's crazy.
It's weird. It's super weird. So when Maria found that out, her and Andrea went to the police station and told them everything. Like, you know, like, okay, well, here's proof. Like, it's happened before. Like, blah, blah, blah. So the police told them not to tell anybody else, like, to just keep this completely quiet, and especially don't tell their neighbors. Because obviously now they're all suspects. Like, it's got to be somebody living around the area if they know all of this information.
Yeah.
So the Broadduses spend the next few weeks on super, super high alert. But many contractors and workers are all around the house, like, all the time, like, working for, like, a couple of weeks, trying to just get everything fixed up. So 2 weeks after the first letter arrived, Maria stopped by the house to look at some paint samples because, you know, they were picking paint colors and stuff. And she decided to go get the mail, when suddenly she recognized this thick black lettering on a card-shaped envelope and immediately called the police. Before she even opened it, she called the police. She was like, oh, heck no.
She knows.
Yeah, she knows. So this letter says, welcome again to your new home at 657 Boulevard. The workers have been busy, and I have been watching you unload carfuls and carfuls of your personal belongings. The dumpster's a nice touch. Have they found what's inside the walls yet? They will. Like, what does that mean? Please tell me, what does that mean?
Okay, like, I know, like, buying a house is, like, such a thing that takes so much time, but I would just move out. Like,
I know, right? Like, honestly, even after the first one, but, like, definitely after that, I would have been like, absolutely no way. Like, there's
okay,
no
the
way.
first one, they didn't even have any of their stuff in. They could have just backed out.
Exactly.
Right?
And
like, why didn't
but
they?
like, I feel like they were just like, this is a prank. I would probably think that too.
Yeah, that's true. You
Like,
don't want to.
you don't want to automatically assume, like, oh, this is a murderer trying to kill me.
Yeah, yeah.
So, in this letter, this is like different because in the first one they're just like, oh, welcome new people. In this, the second letter, the watcher addresses Derek and Maria directly by name and also identifies each of their 3 children in birth order and has all of their nicknames that they have been known to use. Now, I'm not going to say them. You know, they've tried to keep them like under wraps, but the watcher knew everything and it was all right.
Oh my God.
And so then he said, after he listed all of the proof that he knew, he said, I am pleased to know your names now and the name of the young blood that you have brought for me. You certainly say their names often. Like, excuse me. First of all, young blood, what are you, a vampire?
Oh my.
A devil worshiper? You need a sacrifice? Like,
or
what?
something like, oh my God.
Right.
He's saying there's stuff in your walls and also give me your child's blood. Like, what?
Right. Right. And also throughout this, I keep calling the watcher a he just because, you know, I automatically assume we don't really know. So I
would assume because he just seems creepy. I'm just
you would assume, but we will get into that more later into the investigation. So,
well, okay.
So then, even more than just the kids and their nicknames, they then go and describe each one of their children in detail and what like their hobbies are. Like the artists of the group, they're like, oh yeah, the younger girl, like she's an amazing painter, blah blah blah. Like they have literally been watching their every move. They know what this family's been doing this whole time. And that sickens me. Like, I just try to put myself in their shoes. I would immediately, I don't even care if it was $1 million. Like, I don't care. I would lose it for that. Because
I don't know.
At this point, I would be scared. I would not be feeling safe at all. But it definitely doesn't get better.
The police didn't do anything for them, did they?
No. I mean, they did a little bit, so I'll get into it later. But not much. But also, like, at the time, like, I don't really know what they could have really done more than what they did. But we will get into that. So, I'm going to read a little bit more of what the second letter said, because it just gets even more creepy, as if it wasn't already creepy enough. So, quote, 657 Boulevard is anxious for you to move in. It has been years and years since the young blood ruled the hallways of the house. Have you found all the secrets it holds yet? Will the young blood play in the basement? Or are they too afraid to go down there alone? I would be very afraid if I were them. It is very far away from the rest of the house. If you were upstairs, you would never, ever hear them scream. Will they sleep in the attic? Or will you all sleep on the second floor? Who has the bedroom facing the street? I'll know as soon as you move in. It'll help me know who is who and who's in which room, and then I can help even better. All of the windows and doors in 657 Boulevard allow me to watch you and track you as you move through the house. Who am I? I am the watcher, and have been in control of 657 Boulevard for the better part of 2 decades now. The Woods family turned it over to you. It was their time to move on, and kindly sold it when I asked them to. I pass by many times a day. 657 Boulevard is my job, my life, my obsession. And now, you too. You are too, the Broaddus family. Welcome to my product of your greed. Greed is what brought the past 3 families to this house, and now it has brought you to me. Have a happy moving in day, and you know I will be watching. Signed, The Watcher.
Okay. Well, the way that you read that was super creepy.
Well, that was the point.
I can't stand this. Literally, I don't get how they don't see this guy or this person if they're just there constantly.
Well, they keep thinking that it's one of their neighbors because that's the only way that they would be able to see. And so Derek and Maria start like doing their own little investigations, talking to the neighbors and trying to see which ones are like sus. And, they find a couple that are sus, but then they just never work out. And they obviously are sharing this information with the police, and then they all have like alibis for when this was happening or blah, blah, blah. So like they just never find them. So, after that letter, Derek and Maria completely stopped bringing the kids to the house, as they should. Like, I completely agree with them on that. And they had no idea when or if they even wanted to move in still. I would absolutely have abandoned it so fast, personally. So several weeks after that second letter, a third letter arrived, and all that it said was, "Where have you gone to? 657 Boulevard is missing you."
Oh my God.
Sick. Literally sick.
Wait, did they get it to their house or the new house?
No, to the house, like the new house.
Okay.
Like, I mean, like the kids didn't go over there, but like they had to keep going over there,
Yeah.
They didn't stay there though. Like they would just go when they had to and get the mail and stuff. And obviously at this point they were checking the mail every day to see if they were getting letters.
True. I was going to say though, if they somehow got a letter to their other house.
Oh no.
No.
That's like run immediately. Thank goodness that never happened. So, but, so obviously the Broadduses, as I said, doing their own investigation. They're sharing all of their evidence with the police. But at this point, the police were like, listen, we're throwing up our hands. There's nothing we can do without any hard evidence. Like, which I understand. Like, they don't have any evidence. And they don't even have a suspect. Like, what really can they do? They could have, like, sat outside the house and watched the mailbox, I guess. But,
yeah.
But that person also could have mailed it. So, like...
I know. It could just the mailman.
Yeah. Like, it's just really, there's nothing they really could do. So, but it makes Derek really mad. And I mean, like, obviously, like, the watcher's threatening his kids. I would be mad too. But the situation just sucks because, like, nobody can really just do anything. So, Derek decided to take the investigation into his own hands. He bought so many cameras, set them up all around the house, like, everything was on video. He would stay up all night long on the couch just to watch and see if anything was going on. Literally, like, he did not sleep. He never slept. He had...
That's not good.
No, not good. He had the entire neighborhood sketched out, like, on the wall. You know, you could picture it. Like, just picture Charlie Day in that meme.
Oh,
that's what
yes,
he was doing.
Definitely.
Like,
oh
he had the neighborhood sketched out, who lived in what house, everything. And Derek even admits that Maria was like, you are completely obsessing over this and losing your mind. But,
like, is this what the watcher wanted? For him to go crazy? Like, I don't know.
Like, maybe. But also, like, I would do the same thing, though. Like, this person is threatening them. And, like, they didn't even do nothing. They just bought the house that they wanted to live in. Like, goodness, I would be so mad. I would probably do the same thing. So, not only was Derek doing this investigation himself, but they also hired some experts. So, they hired a private investigator to do background checks on all of their neighbors on the street. Not one thing was found that could have led to anything.
See, honestly, I feel like the person who's doing this doesn't have anything to find.
Honestly, no, me too. So then they reached out to an FBI agent, which Derek actually went to high school with, so he's like an old friend who just happened to become an FBI agent. So,
right.
The agent actually noticed some interesting things in the handwriting of the letters, such as how some of the sentences were double-spaced, and they had a certain literary point to them.
Okay.
And that, I didn't really know what that meant. So basically it means just like the writing itself was not very hostile, even though like they were still trying to be creepy and, you know, firm. It wasn't very hostile. So that led the agent to believe that the watcher is a less macho writer or a woman.
Interesting.
So that was the agent's theory, at least, but still nothing really came out of that other than that. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, because all of this, Derek and Maria decided to sell the house 6 months after getting the letter. But tragically, rumors of all of this had been spreading around the town, around the globe. Literally, the story was picking up traction because obviously it's crazy. And nobody wanted to buy it because they were scared. So they had to start renting it out, like as an Airbnb type situation. It was the only choice. It was the only way because they weren't going to live there. It's too dangerous for them, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was an Airbnb, or I don't know if it was like specifically an Airbnb, but you know, they would rent it out to people. Oh, and so also the second letter that was sent, that Maria had taken the police, they were like, okay, we can run a DNA test on it and see if there's any DNA at all. And so when it finally came back, it took forever to come back just because of the time, you know. But it came back, and the DNA found on the letter was traced back to a woman, which is very interesting because that matches up with what the FBI agent said. So.
Yeah, and the opposite of what I was saying.
I know. I
was like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like...
This doesn't seem like a woman.
I guess I can kind of see it.
I know.
But honestly, if you're a woman doing this, I don't know why, but I just feel like you're way crazier.
Oh, you're psycho.
A man would... Because, like, I don't know why. I just always
I get it.
Have a bias towards, like, oh, there are, like, a lot of men who are that crazy. But I feel like there's not a lot of women who are that crazy, right?
I mean, I would agree, but the part of me that I just don't get why it could be a woman, like, this woman is, like, kind of low-key threatening these children. Like,
yeah.
Like, what did they do? Why would you, I don't know. I just feel like a woman's motherly instinct would kick in. Maybe, apparently not, because she don't care.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
I know.
Super weird. Yeah. But, with the DNA, they were able to officially test all of the neighbors and rule all of them out. It was none of the neighbors.
Well, I mean, that's good for the neighbors, but also that
kind of
sucks.
But it doesn't help.
I wish.
Right.
That's so crazy, though. That is not a neighbor. How are they? How is she finding out this information?
How? So at this point, The people of the town were like, all right, it's none of the neighbors. There's only one other person it could be then, and it has to be Maria. The Broadduses themselves have written these letters to get themselves out of the contract that they signed for the house. However, they all gave their DNA too, baby, and it did not match. So, we're back to square one. We have no idea who it could be. So, and everybody that we once thought it was is officially ruled out 100%. So, yeah. So, then the Watcher sent another letter. And this was at this point, this had been over a span, of a couple years at this point, all of this that I've said. So, fast forward a little bit, we're in 2017, that they are still renting out the house. Like, nobody still wants to buy this house. So now it's been 3 years since they first bought it. And so they're still renting it out. And the Watcher sent a letter while the house was being rented out. And the renter at the time, called Derek and was like, hey, there's a letter in here for you. I don't know. I don't know if you want it. So they got the letter. And this is what it said. Quote, "You wonder who the Watcher is? Turn around, idiots. Maybe you even spoke to me. One of the so-called neighbors that has no idea who the Watcher could be? Or maybe you do know, and you're too scared to tell anyone. Good move. I walked by the news truck when they took over my neighborhood and mocked me. I watched, as you watched, me, from the dark house in an attempt to find me. The telescopes and binoculars are wonderful inventions. 657 Boulevard survived your attempted assault and stood strong, with its army of supporters barricading its gates. My soldiers of the boulevard followed my orders to a T. They carried out their mission and saved the soul of 657 Boulevard with my orders. All hail the Watcher."
Oh, what?
And I'm like, okay, sir, goodness gracious, step off the pedestal a little bit. My Lord.
Yeah.
But what really creeps me out, he knew that Derek was I don't know, whoever the Watcher is, knew that Derek was, watching them and, trying to make it impossible for them to see inside the house. That's so creepy.
Oh, my God. Yeah, and the way that they say that the whole neighborhood's in on it.
Right.
I honestly was thinking that for a second, because I'm like, how else would they know all the information? If everybody walked by and told them something different, then they would know it all. But I'm like, are they actually all in on it?
No, I don't think so. So there's a part of this.
But
well, here's my theory. I'll just go ahead and get into my theory. So It says in this last letter that I just read, I walked by the news truck when they took over my neighborhood and mocked me. So I'm like, do they maybe live in the next neighborhood over? I'm just a little bit confused.
I think they're talking about that neighborhood.
They're talking about that neighborhood?
Yeah, well, because
I just don't understand.
They're just saying that they're in charge of the neighborhood. It's like, oh, okay, it's mine.
I got you. Okay, so hear me out. What if it's a ghost?
A ghost writing letters?
Yeah. Like a ghost of the house. He's like, this is my house. I mean, it's a far off theory. I'm just saying it could be. I mean, literally, who is it? I'm just confused how they could have gotten somebody else's DNA on the letter.
Yeah, I don't know.
Makes no sense. So, anyways, I won't get into all the money issues this family has faced because of this, because it's a lot. But Derek and Maria ended up taking the Woods to court, actually, for not disclosing the letter that they received before buying the house. Because, I mean, obviously, that's kind of messed up. Because, they were threatening the letter, and they just were like, no, we're so close to selling the house, let's not tell them. Yeah. And now all this happened. So, they tried, but they did not win that case. They lost the case, and they lost money doing that. So,
that sucks.
Tragic. So, then they were like, okay, fine. You know what? Let's just completely tear down 657 Boulevard and just rebuild a new house here. And so then maybe, it might make them mad, but, it's our house now,
Uh-huh.
And so they got all the steps ready to do that, and the city did not give them permission to do that.
Oh my God.
Just for zoning laws or whatever, something stupid, but they didn't get permission. So basically, this family had literally tried every single thing that they could, and they were completely stuck with this house that they could not live in, and there was literally nothing to do about it, which is just really sad. Really sad. So they just rented it out up until 2019. So they owned the house since 2014. So they owned the house for 5 years and never once lived in it, which is just so sad because that's a big house. Like, that's just so sad.
Yeah.
But in 2019, the Broadduses were finally able to sell the home for $1 million, which is around 350, less than what they bought it for. 350,000 less than what they bought it for.
Yeah, it's just a little.
Just a little pocket change. But I mean, they were like, you know what? I don't care at this point. Take it. So the new owners have not been identified and haven't spoken out to if they've received any letters. I guess they just, don't want the media frenzy or whatever. I don't know. Or maybe the watcher isn't bothering them at all.
Or they're the watcher and they just wanted the house this whole time.
True.
They're like, oh, they outbid us in this house. Well, we're going to try to take it now.
Right.
But they had to let it cool off after a few years.
So I actually did forget to mention that. So they thought that that's what it was, like that maybe somebody wanted the house. And there was 2 other families that wanted to buy the house when it was still up for sale. And they actually both got the offer before the Broadduses. The first one had already found a better house and they had already chosen that one. So they had already moved on. And then the other one found out that they didn't have the funds for the house or whatever. They didn't meet some sort of something. So they just moved on. So no, that all checked out too. At least it wasn't anybody who was close to finalizing on the house. So I don't know about that either. But the watcher, to this very second, minute, hour, was never caught, never identified. Don't know if it's a man, woman, anything. We don't know. And it remains a mystery to this day, not only who the watcher is, but why are they sending the letters? What are they talking about? And I personally want to know, have we deconstructed the walls? Is there something in the walls? Because the watcher said there was.
Right. I mean, I guess they can't because of the zoning or whatever. They can't make another house. So.
Well, I would just rip it up, honestly. Are there bodies in the walls? Because that's what I imagine.
Yeah.
Or, here's this theory, Savannah. This story makes me think a little bit of the show Lock and Key.
I know. Literally, I was thinking about that too.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm in the middle of watching that season right now.
I know. So I'm like, what if there's some magic in this house? I don't know.
I mean, maybe.
If you guys haven't seen Lock and Key on Netflix, highly recommend.
Yeah, and there's people crazy about the house in that show too.
Exactly. So that reminded me of this. So maybe it could potentially be something like that too. Maybe. I don't know. So, anyways, okay, last little bit of information. Also, in 2019, right after they sold the house, Netflix won the rights to the Watcher story. So we can expect either a show or movie to come out probably next year on The Watcher.
Oh.
So that's super exciting to look forward to.
Is the family going to get their money back with
this? I hope the family would be in it and get some money off of it. Because I really do feel so horrible for them. I really do. That's just awful. But also, if you can't wait for that movie to come out and want to see something really funny about it, BuzzFeed Unsolved did an episode here at the Watcher House. And
they did?
Yeah, they did. And it's really funny. And you should watch it. So, that is the mystery of the Watcher. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my god. That's insane. I'd never heard about that one.
Yeah, it's insane. I feel so bad for them.
Stories with stalkers are they just get me so bad.
I know.
It's just
stalkers are
I never want that to
horrible. Happen to me. It's so scary. It's the worst thing in the whole world to feel uncomfortable and unsafe in your home. It's just I can't. That's where you're supposed to feel safe.
Yeah.
And these people never even moved in. So that just makes it even worse for them.
Yeah.
Horrible. But I hope they're living marvelous lives now in a wonderful house. So
I know, they really had to just stay in their same old house.
Yeah, and it was small. That was the house, their first little starter house, and Derek ended up making money and becoming well off, and then couldn't even move into their big house. It's just so sad.
Honestly, I would just be traumatized to go to any other house.
Exactly. I would be I need a brand new house. I need to just build it from ground up. because
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust anything.
I mean, even then, you could still have somebody
Oh yeah,
stalk you.
no, I know, literally.
So,
What are we gonna do?
yeah, I still don't know how, like, that would have saved them if they built a new house.
No,
Like,
I
just
don't either.
because-
I don't
Just
either.
because they were focused on that house, in like, specifically.
Yeah, I think that's what they were thinking.
That was,
like,
yeah.
they just are in love with the house. So if it's not there anymore, maybe they'll leave us alone.
Right.
Crazy. That's all I know. Yeah, I love that story. I mean, I don't love it for the Broaddus's, but it's a really good story.
Yeah, it is.
In general.
I know, because I just want to know who it was.
Same. Watcher, if you're out there and happen to be listening to this podcast, I won't tell your identity if you just let me know who you are, because I'm just so curious.
We don't even need a name. We just need to know, like, why you're doing it.
Yeah, why? Like, is there something special about the house? Because that's what I want to know. Because if it has magic, I'm trying to go.
Right. Yeah.
Like magical keys. Anyways, so if you would please go rate and review us on Apple Podcast. You know how it be.
Yep. Go like our Instagram pictures.
Yep. You beat me to it that time.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on YouTube. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do all of the things that you should. And I'm trying to think, but I don't think I have anything else. Do you have anything else, Savannah?
No.
Alrighty, well, see you next week.
Okay. Cue the music.